David, it seemed like you had the rotation. You're going to, I assume, start Smith tomorrow night. Does that change after him playing more last night, or are you going to stick with Smith tomorrow?
No, we'll stick with Smith tomorrow. That was we got a plan in place, and we want to make sure both guys are playing before the end of the year here. You know, Koskinen's had played well for us. He had a tough night last night, but he's played well. So we'll stay with our plan, and you know, you got to kind of judge. We don't know when the playoffs will start yet, so you're kind of judging when that day will be. But make sure our guys are up and running before that is the goal for both of them.
Yeah, you mentioned Koskinen, and obviously he didn't have the game he wanted. The team didn't have a great start, but he obviously didn't have the game he wanted. Prior to that, though, his previous 10 starts, he had like a 9.29. So do you just kind of look at that as a one-gamer, and then you look to get him into Montreal in one of those games?
Yeah, exactly. He's played well. You know, since Schmidt's come back, both of them have played well. So it's I agree with you. Our team didn't play well early in the game, and then he had a couple he'd probably like back. But if you look at the games before that, he's played solid for us. Well, our goaltending hasn't been an issue for us at all. And tough night last night, but you move on and prepare for the playoffs.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Hey, Dave. Saw the team singing happy birthday to Jesse Puljujarvi today at center ice. Not something that you see every day with players, and maybe just an indication of, I don't know, how the group feels about him and the kind of the smiles that he seems to bring.
I think his smile is infectious. He's smiling all the time and enjoying himself. So, it was a good moment for the guys. They put him in the middle and made him lead the stretch, and they sang happy birthday to him. So it's shows how far he's come from where he was a few years ago.
Just a question about McDavid and his goal scoring. He scored quite a few goals this year, just flat out, challenging the goalie with a shot and beating goalies. Have you noticed that instinct there to just fire the puck and beat a goalie this season in particular?
I don't know. It seems like he's always been a real good goal scorer to me, but I think last summer he worked on a lot of parts of his game. I think he wanted to become a better shooter. He's taken more shots this year. It's he looks to beat goalies now, and he's got a really quick release. I mean, it's a deceiving release. So it's there's not a lot of faults in his game, so you could find lots of good spots.
Derek Van Diest, Post Media.
Hi, Dave. I just wanted to ask if there's kind of an air of anticipation about Saturday's game, kind of like when Wayne was going for his 50 goal and 39th game type thing, or is it going to just be another game for you guys?
I think our focus is a lot more on preparing our team and getting our team, making sure we're playing well, especially after last night's game where we didn't feel like we started well, we didn't play very well. So the focus is more on that. Everybody understands where Connor is on that, but it's I think Connor would be the first one to tell you it's about the team and what the team is doing to prepare, and he'll do his part.
Thanks, Dave.
Reed Wilkins, 630 Ched.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Dave. Ryan McLeod was just out, and I was asking him about that anticipation and excitement for hopefully scoring that first goal soon. What have you seen from him in being around the net and creating offense? As obviously there's a transition from the AHL to the NHL.
He's still feeling his way a little bit. I think he's been a little unselfish with the puck. There's been some times where he could have shot the puck when he's looking to pass it, and that just becomes a young player, just trying to make his way in the league. They tend to overpass a little bit to satisfy the people they're playing with, but he has the ability to transport the puck through the neutral zone, hold pucks, is very good. Positionally, he's really sound. We've got him up and going on some penalty kill now that his penalty kill's been all right. So it's just continuing to get up with the flow of the game, the speed of the game, and the strength of the game. And I think you'll see him continue to build his game with the puck and then find those opportunities where he can get closer to the net and shoot the puck. So he's finding his way. There's a lot of parts of his game that have been real solid. I'm sure he'd like to contribute offensively a little bit, but I think that'll come.
I didn't see Kulikov today. Is he healthy? Is he available tomorrow?
He got bumped up a little bit last night. We left him off as kind of just a maintenance day. We'll see where he's at in the morning.
Thank you.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, going back to the last two games, you allowed a goal in the first shift in both of them. You talked about wanting your team to play better. I know there's lots to play for, but you've coached a lot, you've played a lot. Like, you're kind of secured in where you're at, and you want to get back to the basics. Is it easier to get their attention after consecutive games where allowing a first goal in the first shift?
Yeah, those are things that, and what you do, you relate them to a playoff game. Is that how you want to start a playoff game? You got to have good habits right now. That's what you're into, and that's the thing that bothered me the most about last night's game. It was a tough start, but the first two goals are both, they're not on the goalie, they're on the players. Those are A, chances against. You can't give up chances like that early in the game, and that's just focus and attention to detail and creating good habits. So those are areas that are being continued to be addressed here.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Paul Gazzolo, Oilers TV.
Hey, Dave, I know you're using these last regular season games to get guys in the lineup and see who you want to take and use in the playoffs, but how much will the matchup determine who gets into a lineup, regardless of how a player is playing?
There is some thought to that, depending on who the matchup is. There's one thing we do when you have as many players as we have around, you have some different options. Now, that being said, we during the regular season here, we're kind of limited somewhat with the call-up situation, and we've got some players on emergency right now that we've been able to get in the lineup. So some of that will, some of those options might be taken away from us here the last few games, but there's lots of thought about the matchup and who we're playing against and what gives us the best lineup to be successful.
Thanks, Dave.